This is Festival Sounds. I'm Bilal. We're going to do something a little different for you this week. We're going to re-release our favourite episode from 2024. It's the episode with SecretGlasto. If you haven't heard it before, I think you'll love it. Secret Glastonbury are a social media handle who share secret sets from around the festival whilst the festival is happening. At the end of this episode, I've recorded a preview of what you can expect in our June episode. This one, we don't even know the guest's name. It's top secret, and he's on the call with us right now.
Yeah, the name on the screen is SecretGlasto, and that's how he will remain.
Welcome to Festival Sounds. We're talking to SecretGlasto. Welcome to the podcast, SecretGlasto.
Hello.
So, for our listeners who aren't aware, what is SecretGlasto? Why are you a secret man? Why do I not know your name?
Well, that's a very, very good question. SecretGlasto was an account that was set up around 10 years ago that was just mainly set up so that people could keep track of secrets that were going on around the festival. And we've kind of just grew and now have nearly 100,000 followers on Twitter.
So it sounds like it's Glasto's worst kept secret, to be honest.
Well, you could put it that way. Hence why we don't want to reveal who we are, so we can keep a little bit of secrecy around it.
Is there genuine pressure on keeping it secret?
I think it's become, there isn't a pressure to keep it secret, but we do get quite a few tips from people that don't want to have things coming out into the public domain. So as a result, we'd prefer to keep the pressure off of us from telling people. So we do like to kind of retain a little bit of secrecy and not tell anyone the ins and outs of who or what and where we are.
To be fair, that's smart, because I can imagine you can get I'm sure you get millions of DMs anyway of all the secrets, but you wouldn't want personal DMs to you.
No, definitely not. It's good to separate your SecretGlasto life from your personal life. So.
Yeah. How did you get into it? How did it get set up? How did you get involved?
As I say, it's our 10-year anniversary this year. So this will be we were created in 2014. Initially just as a point of reference. So as I said earlier, just so that people who were at the festival could kind of not miss out on any of the secrets that were going on. So we were set up 10 years ago, and over the years have accrued different members, mainly because we always want to have someone at home. So when someone that was running it gets lucky in the tickets, or they get a ticket, then we have to kind of recruit another recruit, and that's kind of how it's worked. So you're not industry insiders. You're people going for ticket. You're regular ticket goers. We are regular ticket goers. We are 100% just people that love the festival. Much to a lot of people's amazement, we have no industry insiders. We still have the same stress as everyone else on ticket day. We don't get carted around in a golden buggy or anything like that. We have to lug all our stuff from the car just like everyone else. And you're talking like there's a collective here. How many of you are there? Or can we not know? There's more than one, but less than 10.
It's like speaking to Men in Black, right? At the end of this, we're going to get zapped. We're going to forget all about it.
It's a good job you're recording it, because you two won't remember anything after this conversation.
I was going to ask about how you upload. The service at Glasto is renownedly quite rubbish.
Yeah.
But is that what the person at home, is that part of their job, is to help actually use some 3G and upload stuff?
Yeah. So, the way it works is the reason why we want someone at home is, as you pointed out, signal is just so patchy on the farm. It's just not reliable. And also people get into different levels of intoxication at Glastonbury as well. So it's probably not best to have some people kind of after 10 p.m. on a Friday night being in charge of a Twitter handle with 100,000 followers. So yeah, we like to kind of keep someone at home, keeping it on the straight and narrow, and making sure that that everything kind of gets fed out to the general public.
You've got that admin there, but I do feel like they must feel like they're missing out if they're the one at home having all these great secrets and everyone else is having a great time.
Yeah, I've been in charge of it 3 times, I think, maybe 4 actually. I can't think. It's either 3 or 4 times, and it's quite crushing the amount of times you get a DM from someone saying, "Thanks so much for the tips. Where are you? I'll buy you a beer." And I kind of have to say, "Well, I'm absolutely nowhere near Worthy Farm, unfortunately." So, yeah, have to let that one pass. I might bank them all and just get them all in one festival when I'm out there and rein them all in.
Be like, you'll put the message out being like, "Everyone buy me."
Yeah, I'm here. I'm not going to be moving. Come buy me beer.
Are you going this year?
I am. It's my first time since 2016 this year.
I think you call in all those beers. I'm at the Mandela Bar. It's 3:00. Anyone who's had a tip in the last 10 years, come find me.
Yeah, you'll be like, order to the name like Bill, and then everyone will be like, "For Bill."
Send it to table 4.
No, you should order to the name Tilly. That's what you should do.
He's going to have a mask on, like Mission Impossible, or Cass is Dead, who's just going to show up at Silver Haze, I saw on the lineup. You're just going to have a big mask on. No one's going to know who you are. You could be stood next to SecretGlasto. You won't know. It's just a man with 10 pints. That's all you know.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, I think the only thing about that is my other half might have something to say when I kind of staggering around the field for the rest of the weekend. So yeah, might have to kind of pace myself a little bit on the 10-pint front. But yeah.
When you've got someone's at home, are you on the ground at Glastonbury trying to find out hints and tips, or have I totally misread how you find out? Are you chatting to people backstage to try and get info? How are you getting your tips?
I mean, there's we've got some contacts that seem to come through with the goods most years, that for the interest of secrecy I will not be disclosing, that we kind of tend to get quite regular tips from certain people, and the rest of it is a little bit of an investigation and kind of murder mystery kind of Cluedo kind of style, plotting of evidence and putting things together from the rest of us. It mainly starts from when the timetable comes out, because then you can kind of see how many gaps you've got within the schedule. I mean, I get quite geeky, and when we had the initial lineup release, what was it, about a month ago, whatever it was, I kind of went through and counted the amount of acts on each stage and averaged how many we'd normally get, so we can kind of see how many people were missing from that lineup, because then that kind of gives you a bit of a clue about where we might be getting some TBAs on the lineup. But yeah, what that tends to happen is the second that the timetable comes out, we can then kind of start piecing together the information, and we go into overdrive then just to kind of see if we can work out who all the secret gaps are.
This is fascinating. I had no idea this is how it works.
Yeah.
It's a bit geeky, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
Well,
we're glad you're doing it, because it wouldn't be me.
Why should the secret sets be the preserve of an inner circle, or people who've got mates? And there's something about democratizing that information. But then the flip side, it must be pretty scary if you've got a venue that's tiny and a name is heading in there. If you announce that the morning before it happens, do you not worry about, oh my God, 10 times the number of people who should be at that venue are going to show up? Sorry, I've taken it in a totally serious place. This is the way my head works.
It's a really valid point, and something that we take very seriously. We meticulously plan when we're going to be tweeting about things. Example, when Williams Green were doing the secret slots, and a couple of years ago, I think a couple of festivals ago even, Bastille were doing a secret slot on the Thursday night. And obviously they're quite a big act to be playing in Williams Green when there's nothing going on a Thursday, really. And it was kind of, it wasn't the best kept secret. It was kind of public knowledge. And what we did on that one was that we had a couple of people that kind of went up to Williams Green and just kind of sussed out how busy it was. And then we ended up only tweeting about that probably a couple of minutes before they went on stage, because we just wanted to kind of keep the credibility that we knew who it was. But we just felt it as it was already absolutely packed. I think the festival even closed the area down. We just thought, we don't want to send 100,000 people to go and see Bastille and make it a complete health and safety nightmare. So yeah, we do meticulously kind of look at what kind of an impact us tweeting is going to put on the infrastructure of the festival, the crowds, and also the enjoyment of everybody. Because whilst we want to make everyone aware of an act playing, we don't want to cause it into a health and safety nightmare, or even for that act to not be able to play because we sent everybody up there. So yeah, it's something that we do kind of really, really look at in a lot of detail.
So speaking to you, I think it's pretty clear that you're one of us who have a love of the farm, love of the festival. It's really interesting how seriously you take it, to the point that someone went to the venue, checked, and I was around that actually, and I didn't get close, and I didn't want to go close. It was around. You tweeted it out a couple of minutes before. Are there some things that you've just never tweeted out because you think, no, I'm not going to go there? Because a couple of minutes before, you've almost given people a chance to catch the end of the set. If they're diehard fans, at least they've got that. You can be at the park and you'll still make it for the last 3 or 4 songs. So that I like that. But has there been any times where you've just thought, nah, it's not worth sending that one out, even if it's true, even if we look amazing, you just draw a line under it?
The only time I think from memory that we've concealed an act was when Paolo Nutini played at the Rabbit Hole. He played on, I think it was Saturday afternoon, about 3 festivals ago. We were given a really good lead for it. We knew, we kind of went around, kind of did a bit of digging, found out it was definitely happening. And then we just thought the logistics of Paolo Nutini's quite a big act. I think he's previously, when he's played at the festival, he's been quite high up on the other stage line, and maybe even on the pyramid. So he's a massive act to be playing in a tent that holds a couple of 100 people, I think. And eventually we just decided that it wasn't something that we wanted to put our name to making that stampede of people together. We just didn't think it would be safe. So we kind of held that one back. Got a bit of flack for it as well. People kind of sort of said, well, you obviously don't know all of what, the secrets that you say you do. But we felt that it was important to make sure that we didn't cause an issue on sites, because if you get because it was a Saturday afternoon as well. It's not like you've got a headliner kind of act against them. It's a big name to be playing on a Saturday afternoon. And if people caught wind of it and everybody went up to there, we could have caused, a health and safety nightmare. So we decided to hold that one back.
Yeah, I really like that. Okay, moving away from the serious stuff then. What are the wins that you got where you thought, yeah, we're going to tell people that no one saw that coming? You must have that positive one.
We did. I mean, I think the thing is with it's hard for me to say which ones are the best ones that we've kind of announced, because from our perspective, obviously we know about it quite early, and so if the way I look at it is, well, if I know about it, everyone must know about it, but obviously a lot of people don't. I think the biggest one that I probably announced when the Killers did John Peel. Obviously, that did become quite common knowledge, I think, towards the end. But I think there was a lot of will they, won't they, and then it was quite nice to kind of. And what I tend to do when I'm manning the account is to send out a bit of cryptic message at the start of the day, just that the Killers fans would understand. So I think I said something along the lines of, somebody told me about who's going to be playing there, but just just have a little kind of pun or play on words on something that a Killers fan would go, that's the Killers, I know it's the Killers. Whereas, because what you also get quite a lot of is a lot of people just go there because it's a secret guest, and they, you would not believe how many times we've been asked if Harry Styles is playing over the last 2 or 3 years. It is ridiculous, to the point that I think last year we had to actually tweet out saying Harry Styles is not going to be a special guest anywhere.
He's not even in the country.
Because we just got annoyed by the amount of people that were just saying, is Harry Styles playing? But so, because you've got people that want to go and see the Killers, but then you've also probably got a load of people that might think on the whim it's someone like Harry Styles or Madonna or the Spice Girls, and all these different people that you always get lots of rumours for. We kind of want to give the fans of the Killers an early heads up, so they go, it's definitely the Killers. I'm going to go and get a really good slot because, you know, if you want to get into the Woodsies, or John Peel it was at the time, you need to get there early, otherwise you're just not going to get into the actual tent. So yeah, we like to give people an early heads up with a little bit of a cryptic message, and then as it gets a bit closer, we kind of give them a full-blown announcement.
What's the craziest rumor, like a fake rumor, like the craziest one that you've ever heard?
The craziest rumor that we had it's actually probably one we had last year. We tend to get quite a few about people that are dead, which is always quite interesting. But we had one last year that was Prince Harry was going to come out and guest with Elton John on Candle in the Wind, which we kind of we didn't really give that much of a thought, to be honest.
Oh my gosh! You should have tweeted it just to see what people's reactions were.
Yeah. Could you imagine if Prince Harry came out?
Yeah, that is definitely something. That would have been something.
It would have been a Glastonbury moment, wouldn't it?
Tills is still not over that Britney didn't come out.
No,
she cannot handle that there was no Britney. No Britney, no party. That's what Tilly's saying.
No, I tell you what, I'm not over is Dua Lipa. Like, where else could she have been?
I know. Yeah, we did get quite a lot about Elton. We don't normally tweet about guests, but we did get quite a lot about Elton's guests, and so in the end we did announce it just at the start of his set because we'd been told who it was. And I think when the first guest came out, we kind of went, right, okay, that info is definitely kosher, because we kind of got lots of rumors about Brittany. We had Eminem was going to come out with here. You know, there was so many different things that came out, and you know, we only ever tweet something when we're confident. So when we were confident that one, we tweeted it. But I mean, just to give you an idea of how much our tweets impact people, I think we had 70,000 people looking at that tweet within the first 5 or 6 minutes of it being tweeted out. So obviously I don't think all of those 70,000 people were at Glastonbury at the time, but you can understand the impact that you can have by sending wrong information and sending stuff out. So we do kind of have to really be careful what we send and when we send it.
If all those 70,000 people were there, I want to ask them, like, what service provider are they on? Because I need to get on that one. Tesco Mobile does not cut it.
I was watching it on the television, and I don't think that there was 70,000 people anywhere else in the festival. I think there were 7 people other than that field, to be fair.
There's 2 things that really wind Tilly up. Bad service at festivals and Dua Lipa.
And then put them together. No.
I don't know. Well, we've covered it to death in a previous episode. I do know why. It's irrational, though. Do you have any? Have you ever had any Dua Lipa related tips that Tilly can somehow hate on,
avoid?
I
don't think we have, actually, to be quite honest. I think, in fact, that's not true. Actually, a couple of years ago. I think there's a band called Sports Team, and they tweeted a screenshot of a WhatsApp conversation which had supposed Glastonbury secrets. Now, we looked at it instantly, and I think Dua Lipa was on there as someone from memory. We looked at it instantly, and we were like, "There's no way any of those are happening." I mean, there may have been a couple of nuggets of truth in 1 or 2 of them, but the majority of them were way off the mark, and that really, really, really messed us up that year, because all we had was people sending us stuff saying, "Have you seen this?" And we're like, "It's not true," and then people trying to convince us that the rumours were true, whereas we knew full well they weren't. So our inbox was absolutely inundated with people just kind of saying, "This is happening," and we're like, "No, it's not."
I also find it a bit mad how much emphasis people place on what you're not posting, or it's almost like some are living for just the secret sets.
Yeah, I think so. Mad.
There's plenty to see that's actually listed in the lineup.
Even when you were saying earlier about, like, obviously when you get tips and you like to post at the beginning of the day, sometimes it's exciting to not know who it is, and like I can imagine those times when you maybe choose not to post or you just don't know who it is, like that. It's lovely to know who it is, but it's also quite exciting to not know who it is. So the fact that people are like obsessed with it, like messaging you constantly, trying to convince you, like, you must just be like, back off, guys.
Yeah, I think sometimes you can, sometimes you can get in the festival spirit and be a bit kind of nice in the DMs to begin with, and then after a while you're just like, just not even going to respond to that.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone, please. Sorry.
And also that you posting or not posting is a measure of your success or not. is a bit mad.
Yeah.
If you've not been told about a secret set that's happened, doesn't mean that SecretGlasto failed and somehow maybe no one told you. That's okay.
SecretGlasto's cancelled. Like no one said.
Go find someone else. There isn't anyone else I've ever gone to for this information than SecretGlasto. Pre-festival, eFests is great because the kind of analysis that eFests provide on different levels of lineups and where the gaps in the schedules are, there's nothing that compares with the detail in eFest. But once you're at the festival, you can't go on a forum and check stuff. It's only SecretGlasto. So, better the devil you know. Where else are you going to get your information?
Even if you know it's a lie. No, I'm joking.
Even if they won't tell you that Bastille are going to be there until 2 minutes, you're like, got your running shoes on waiting to get somewhere.
Yeah, I'm quite conscious as well. You're quite conscious of giving duff information because, as you say, everyone knows we don't want to kind of. And I think I've only ever got it wrong once, which was quite small. It was a BBC introducing set, and I'd been given a tip that it was a Wolf Alice DJ set. So I tweeted it out, it was a Wolf Alice DJ set, and then got a tweet from one of Wolf Alice saying, "No, we're not." And I was like, "All right, okay, it's not." It turned out to be Metronomy, so I wasn't too far away from it. No. But it was, I think that's the only time we've got it wrong, or I've got it wrong anyway.
I kind of feel like the same fans occupy the same space there for Metronomy and Wolf Alice. They won't be disappointed. Again, you've given it a shot. You've got some information. You've judged whether it's from a semi-accurate feeling source. Because I imagine that's really hard to know whether who's telling you something is legit or not. It's not going to come from an email that says, Universal Music or Sony
Sent
Music.
from Glastonbury iPhone, like.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you filter? Well, in fact, without giving too much away, because otherwise you're going to get someone who breaks down those filters and tells you Dua Lipa's doing the introducing stage as a secret set.
We tend to have I'd say before the festival started, we've probably got 80 to 90% nailed, I reckon.
Wow.
But then I'd say I'd even say it might be a slightly higher percentage of that before the festival starts. But what we don't have is the airtight confirmation. So sometimes we have to wait until people are on site, and then kind of people go around and do a bit of digging, and kind of you can tend to find stuff out by a lot of people, especially when there's a lot of people at Glastonbury seem to like to talk, and they like to kind of give out information, or you speak to the sound man, I'm not supposed to say anything, but so you can kind of go and get information that way as well. We sometimes kind of get the more moles deployed, and they can kind of come back and tell us that it's accurate or not. We tend to have most of the information before it starts. I mean, ironically, probably the biggest secret guest of Glastonbury history, which was last year with the Churn-Ups when Foo Fighters played. I think we knew about it. I think we got a tip off from someone in about January. So that was just someone that knew someone that knew someone that knew something about something they'd booked close to the festival. So we were like, hang on a minute, if they're doing that, why have we got that going on? So we didn't, until the lineups came out and we saw the Churn-Ups, we didn't have a clue of where they'd fit in or what they'd be doing. But it's information was very early on that one. So.
There's some people who still think it's going to be Pulp.
Yeah. I'm a really big Pulp
I'm not
fan.
Were they wearing Were they wearing masks?
I'm a really big Pulp fan, so I'd have been gutted because I wasn't there last year if I'd missed them. So I'm hoping they spring up some of this year. Although disclaimer, we've had no information that is on the cards, unfortunately.
I know you said that. Was it Wolf Alice DM'd you saying we're not going to be there?
No, they didn't DM me. They tweeted us. Yeah, so everybody commenting underneath. No, we're not. No, we're going, oh, what do you know? Kind of all their fans and stuff. I was like, oh, God.
Do you ever get people, like actual artists, like messaging you saying, like, I am going to be there?
We get more of that now. We historically, for a long time, we didn't get much. But I think as our numbers have gone up, what we're getting a lot of is people will see it as an opportunity as well. Because, I mean, if you're an act and you're playing in the middle of the day somewhere up against someone quite big, if you know that someone can tweet out to 100,000 people or 100,000 followers that this band are playing over there, that kind of increases or can swell your numbers up a bit. So we have been getting a bit more traction from official artists or leads within stages and stuff like that over the probably the last 4 or 5 years. So it is starting to get a bit more
free
official.
Publicity for them, so I can see why they do it. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and it's not just a random 100,000 people. It's 100,000 people who are on your Twitter handle because they want to go to the next set.
Yeah.
So it's the absolute. You are moving the crowd around the festival to an extent. I get that because no one wants a secret set. Field is just empty. It's just Paolo Nutini playing to like one guy,
they go Glastonbury, like Glastonbury, and there's one person in the crowd like woo.
Like Jez in Peep Show when he does that festival. So responsibility goes both ways. It turns out
it does. Yeah, people use us when they want to, but then we obviously have to think about when we're using the information. So
I imagine it puts people though onto like a validated list then where you go, okay, we can trust these. Do you build on it year on year where you go, this is my trusted source because they've come through 2 or 3 years before?
Yeah, if you've got someone that is giving you regular good information and they give you information that festival about something else, then you tend to kind of lean towards what they're saying because obviously if they're a trust, I mean I shouldn't probably be saying that because the people that they've given us information in the past are probably going to re-stitch us up now, aren't they?
We'll cut this bit out.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
They're going to say Prince Harry is definitely there.
They'll cut it just down to Prince is playing this year, so yeah, that's another one of the dead artists that we've already had.
Just set you up.
Yeah.
So you said that this year though you're going to be there. How long have you been going to Glastonbury? What number festival is this for you?
I first went to Glastonbury as a fresh-faced young person in 1998. So yeah, just fresh out of school, I think, at that time. Yeah. So
how long ago is that, Tills?
That is before I was born.
So,
2 years before I was born, in fact.
This isn't going well, is it?
SecretGlasto lives forever. That's the moral of the story.
We're going to be called Secret Dinosaur soon, aren't we? I think.
Tills has been holding on for that for the whole recording. She's been desperate to say it.
I've been rubbing my hands together, ready.
You've seen the festival change so much.
Yeah.
And it's been a few years since you've been back. What are you looking forward to this year?
What I'm looking forward to is more than anything is just the Glastonbury spirit and Glastonbury vibe. I don't think there's anything that beats. I mean, I've been to most festivals around the world, well, not around the world, but particularly in Europe, and there's nothing comes close to that Glastonbury vibe. So I'm most looking forward to that. Just getting into the fields. There's a big group of us that are going this year, so getting time to spend with a lot of friends is going to be great. And although I'd say in terms of headliners this year, it's not my strongest year. It's not about the headliners. It's about there's so much more going on there, and I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but yeah, just really looking forward just to be getting. I'm itching to get back on the farm, to be quite honest. I can't wait.
And are you going to properly ditch your SecretGlasto responsibility for this year, or will you be the guy leaning across the barrier before the acts have come on to, who's that guitar for? What's that label on that guitar case?
I'll certainly be keeping my ear to the ground and reporting back to HQ during the festival, but I'm also intending to let my hair down quite a bit. So I don't know how coherent I'll be at certain points of the festival. So I'll probably not be the best person to be tweeting things to people or sending stuff out there. So I won't be.
If you see the tweets with spelling mistakes, we're going to know it's you.
It's this SecretGlasto, not the other ones. I think. I mean, as I said before, everybody kind of mucks in when they're at the festival. So I'll definitely be mucking in to try and help out with stuff. And it also gives me a good way of kind of getting an early heads up if there's something going on, so that so I can miss the crowds if I really want to go and see someone as well. So yeah, it will be. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I don't think I'm allowed to meet you at the festival, even if I wanted to buy you a pint to say thank you for coming on the podcast. But it's been amazing hearing what goes on behind the scenes at SecretGlasto.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
And I hope people appreciate, like, obviously you were saying, like, sometimes you get some backlash if you get things wrong, but like you can't never guarantee that that it's 100% true. So I hope people appreciate that you're doing the best you can do.
Yeah, I mean, we all do it because we love the festival, and we're only doing it because it's, if we can't go to the festival, we want to be involved in some way. And, as I mentioned about the Glastonbury spirit kind of thing earlier, it's just giving that little bit back to everyone, just so they can hopefully it can give everyone an extra 5% enjoyment at the festival. So, that's all we're only here to help.
So a little preview, as I promised, for what we've got planned in June and the Glastonbury build-up. I've recorded a multi-episode special with a fascinating guest, someone who was involved in the early days of Glastonbury. Those episodes are going through some reviews and some approvals. Very different for us, but I'm hopeful to release them in weeks, maybe even days. Week commencing the 9th of June, we're going to release an episode every day chatting about where to camp, what to expect when you arrive, what to pack, and one on new and hidden venues, so we're waiting to see what the lineup reveals there. We've got some very cool guests, including our friend from Glastocast, the incredibly knowledgeable Jessie. Then, a week before the festival, we will release an hour-long special similar to Festival Carpool last year. I'm hopeful to get some cameos from guests who've recorded with us in the past year. It'll be as daft as Festival Carpool, but it's something you can listen to in the last hour of the drive into Glastonbury. If you're travelling alone, maybe it'll give you a laugh for that last leg of the journey. Before you go, please give us a follow on Apple or Spotify, and if you really enjoy the show, give us a 5-star rating.